So this is another best practice in this, zero loss supply chain series. This best practice is to make sure that whatever pallet, right, you built a, 6 feet tall pallet, 7 feet tall pallet, 8 feet tall pallet, whatever pallet you built, all that entire pallet is getting delivered intact, right? Not getting broken up, not, there is no damage, it's all delivered perfectly intact as one solid entity to the customer, right? That's what this best practice is going to help you accomplish. So let's dive into the details. So essentially, right, I mean, there are people shipping these pallets, shipping, a product, shipping loads. If you really think about it, right, the warehouse is always optimizing for the processes that they run, right? They're trying to, set up processes that are efficient, that are most productive for the warehouse, that are most, operationally easy to execute and, with minimal number of steps, right? That's what the warehouse is doing. Whereas the, transportation carriers, what they optimize for the cube. They want to, carry the most amount of product within their trailer, right? That's what it is. So what happens is often when the expectations are not set correctly, when there is, communication, mismatch, what happens is the carrier sometimes ends up breaking those pallets, and then, they opt for optimizing the cube reasons. They do sometimes double stack, all kinds of stuff happens, right? So how can you make sure, see, you're, shipping something sensitive and, or, the routing guide requires that, hey, this is all, it's got to be 7 feet tall pallet, 8 feet tall pallet. How do you make sure those pallets get delivered intact, right? That's what this best practice is about. So let's start with, for example, let's say there is a 7 feet tall pallet here, right? So there is a 7 feet tall pallet. And I'm going to just, assume this example in 2D. So this is, 9, 12, and then 15, boxes on a pallet, right? Assume that this is a 2D example. So this is a, let's say, 7 feet tall pallet, and this is the pallet the warehouse built, and they are delivering this. They're loading this pallet on the trailer. Assume that it fits within the trailer, right? I mean, you can go till 8 feet tall pallets on the trailer. So they build this, and what happens is sometimes it gets broken down here. It gets broken down here, or it gets broken down here, and it doesn't get delivered intact as one solid pallet that how the warehouse built exactly, right? So how do you make sure, that does not happen? How do you make sure your pallets do not get broken down like that? So that's what this best practice is going to help you with, right? So when you implement this best practice, you can set clear expectations with the carrier and say that, hey guys, this is exactly how I need it to be delivered, and they'll also not violate that rule, right? So what you do is, so this is how you build the pallet. You perfectly pick the product, you perfectly palletize the product, and you stretch wrap. So the best practice is when you stretch wrap this. So I'm going to draw it here. So this is how it is, right? This is how it is, and there is a pallet ID here, and then obviously these are the boxes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15. So let's keep this for simple reasons, right? That keep this 2D example. So in this case, then you are building the pallet again, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? Same you got. So again, this is the same 7 feet tall pallet, right? This is a 7 feet tall pallet again. This is a 7 feet tall pallet again. So what you do is you stretch wrap this with the black color stretch wrap, right? Completely stretch wrap with the black color stretch wrap, right? You stretch wrap this with the black color stretch wrap, and it's fully covered, right? It's fully covered and it's pretty tight, and also this works really well for stuff, for example, right? Like chocolates. I mean, people get tempted on. I mean, they see chocolate, what? Hey man, I'm going to grab a box and nobody's going to notice, right? People get tempted on. So you completely stretch wrap it with black stretch wrap, and then what do you do on top of it, right? You also have a proprietary tape that is built, right? So this is a proprietary tape with your logo on it. I mean, if you're a ABC company, you build a proprietary tape and then apply that tape, that says say ABC company and logo, right? So you apply that tape. So this is your, this says, hey, ABC, company and logo. So that tape has that proprietary logo on it. So even if someone breaks and they're trying to fix it, they cannot use the same tape because only you have that tape, right? So when you have this, and then you set the experiment on top of it, right? Of course, you've nicely put the black stretch wrap, and that you put the logo, and also what helps is you can put some labels to say, hey, this is do not break pallet, right? Here you can say, hey, do not break pallet, right? Do not break pallet. You can put that same sticker on multiple places, so that is all nicely visible. If people understand, hey, you know what, man, I'm not supposed to break this pallet, for whatever reason, right? Optimizing for cube or optimizing for anything else. I'm not supposed to break this pallet, and this pallet needs to be delivered intact. And this black stretch wrap is already there, and people cannot see inside. Even if it's a box of chocolates, when they cannot see inside, they don't get tempted, right? And you have the even if someone broke it, you can say, hey, you know what, my team applied that specific tape with that logo on it, and that is missing, so that means somebody's breaking. So then you can also set the expectation to carrier, hey, if that happens, I'm going to file a claim against you guys, and I'm going to ask my customer to send the photos of the pallet that he got without all these tapes and labels and things like that, right? So that helps a lot. So when you do this and when you follow this best practice, people do a really a good job. They understand it's really about communicating, right? It's everybody that handles, it's easy for the warehouse to do a great job because they understand the order requirements, routing guide requirements, any other specific customer requirements. But how do you make sure everybody else in the supply chain that's handling the product, especially, right, let's say it's an LTR, right? It goes through a hub and someone is breaking it up, someone is trying to optimize the cube. So when that happens, when they see this, hey, you know what, wow, these guys have done a really good job. They've applied this black stretch wrap and they've applied this tape as well, and they've put this do not break a pallet label. So everyone else is going to do a great job. So hopefully this is helpful, and of course thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and let us know if you like this video or not. Thank you.